How do you go on public holidays? For many people, public holidays are a source of fun, relaxation, and time with friends and family. But for people with mental health concerns or eating disorders, it can be a real source of stress and anguish. This episode is going to help you navigate public holidays and, let's just say, the aftermath that can come with it. Welcome to the What's Eating You podcast. I'm your host, Stephanie, and I'm a psychologist, published author, and public speaker here to educate and validate. Enjoy the show. Welcome back to another episode. I have a quickie for you today on the What's Eating You podcast because I thought, wow, what perfect timing. It is a public holiday, and this public holiday can definitely impact people in different ways. I know for me, when I was going through my eating disorder, any type of holiday, whether it was Melbourne Cup, whether it was Christmas, whether it was Easter, whether it was Greek Easter, whether it was, the Jan 26th Australia Day, there was always some anguish and some angst. And I'm going to talk about why and then give you strategies to manage it. So you've got strategies for the next public holiday, but also how to recover if you have had a challenging weekend. Right. For those that don't know me, my name is Steph and I'm a psychologist here to break it down. If you've come over from TikTok, let me know. If you're from Instagram and you enjoy the episodes, please also let me know. I love to know where people are coming from. I love to hear your feedback. And now we even have a form where you can submit a dilemma or a story. You can submit a request for the podcast or even ask Steph question. So find the link below, get in touch, as I would love to hear from you. Let's get started. Public holidays often bring about a change in routine. So for many people, they will have the day off work. Some people don't have the day off work, but a change in routine can often affect people. It makes you feel out of sorts. You don't really know what you're doing. Sometimes the gym is closed, so people don't have access to their regular training schedules, and because you don't have routine, that can affect your eating. We know that eating disorders are more likely to happen when you don't have structure in your food. So for many of the people I work with, the first thing we work with in Food Freedom is food structure. So a public holiday can bring about a change in your food structure. For example, many people on Australia Day may have barbecues booked in, or may have catching up with friends or going out for drinks. In Australian culture, drinking on this holiday is, I guess, very big, having a shrimp on the barbie, anything like that. So this can often cause people to try to save up maybe their calories or eat lighter in the day if they know they're going to go out later, if they're going to binge drink, or they're going to eat more carbohydrates or alcohol. They might skip breakfast. And what we know that skipping breakfast can often create havoc for eating disorders and disordered eating. So the first thing is, I want you to reflect on, when there is a public holiday, number one, does it affect you? And number two, does your eating or exercise habits change? Right? Some people might see it like a complete write-off. Well, I didn't exercise, so I might as well just eat crap all day and then I'll start fresh tomorrow, or I'll start fresh after the weekend. So just noticing, do you get affected by public holidays at all, or do they affect you in a good way? And to write this down. The second thing is drinking. In Australian culture, drinking is extremely normalized. And for anyone listening in the UK, the US, I'd love to know about how it is for you. I don't personally drink at all very much. I might have a glass of wine with steak here and there, or my birthday, or when I'm overseas. But public holidays, it's not something that I do, but it's very, very big. And drinking affects your judgment. It affects your logical reasoning. It affects the frontal lobe of your brain. Now, for many women who struggle with their eating, when they drink alcohol, they find that they're more likely to find themselves purging. They're more likely to find themselves binge eating because, one, when you drink alcohol, you do get more hungry. The dopamine receptors in your brain are, they go down the next day. So people are looking for something to feel good, usually in the form of food. You're usually dehydrated. You're usually emotional. People get anxiety, and to try to manage anxiety, people may eat the next day, etc. But when you're actually drinking as well, following drinking, you might go get a kebab at 2 a.m, or you've eaten all day and your judgment is impaired, so you might not have the cognitive capacity to try to challenge the urge to purge or challenge the urge to engage in compensatory behavior. So this is another thing that can affect eating disorders, and it is alcohol, because you're less inhibited, you're more likely to purge, you're more likely to binge eat, just because of all the things that are happening in your brain, and also not to mention the things that happen emotionally. A lot can happen when you drink. People cry, people get drunk, they text their ex. It's just a recipe for disaster. So just being mindful that if this is you and alcohol does not sit well with you, or it always ends up being worse than what it started with, I'd really encourage you just to reflect on why you drink, the purpose of it, and maybe it's time to take a break or think about it. Does taking a break give you anxiety? Does thinking about not drinking stress you out? Think about that for a moment, because I know it can be a sensitive topic for many people. The next thing is being around food that you wouldn't normally eat on a public holiday. So for example, you might go to a friend's house or go to a barbecue, and what they're serving up isn't what you normally eat. And this can be very anxiety provoking for people with eating disorders. I know for me personally, if I would go to a friend's house and there wasn't a salad, or there was a potato salad that was covered in cream and bacon and all these different things I wouldn't eat, I'd feel, oh my gosh, either I need to restrict until I got home and I'd be absolutely starving, or you know what, just eat very minimal, just have the meat and then you can sort it out later, which obviously can lead you to a binge, because restriction can lead to binge. And I'll go through how to manage this in a moment. But yes, being around unfamiliar food, being around foods that aren't your safe foods can definitely lead to, well, I might as well just eat this. I'll start tomorrow. I'm a failure. What's the point? I don't stick to anything. And the saddest part is you're not present. The saddest part is you're in your head, you're thinking about food rather than being in the moment with your friends. And I think that's what hurt me the most when I went through my own struggle, was I wasn't living. I wasn't going to these barbecues and events thinking, oh my gosh, I'm so excited to catch up with my friend. It was, oh my gosh, what am I going to eat today? What the heck? That is not a way to live. And if you're sick of living this way, I don't blame you. And the final thing that can contribute to public holiday binge eating, body image issues, all of that, is being out in the sun. So for many people, they'll go to the beach on a public holiday, or they'll go to a pool or go to someone's house. And especially if it's in summer, you're going to be wearing your bathers, you're going to be in your shorts, and this can raise your consciousness around your body. And what do we do when we feel conscious in a social situation on a public holiday? Many people drink, which take us back to the drinking and then the binge eating and the cycle. Or some people may avoid it altogether. They might feel so bad about their body and they might cover up. They might think, that's it, I'm never going to go to a public holiday feeling like this again. I'm going to go on a diet tomorrow, but today's the last day. So, they might binge eat or engage in unhealthy behaviors. And body image issues can really come to the forefront when you have social events. Maybe you haven't worn bathers in many, many years, and now that you're having to do it, you notice your body for the first time, or you catch a glimpse of yourself in the reflection. And that can be really hard for people who do engage in body avoidance. So there's body checking, which is frequently checking, looking in mirrors, and then there's body avoidance, which is avoiding the mirrors, avoiding everything altogether. Right, now you know how public holidays can affect your relationship with food, your body image, binge eating, purging. Let's go into some strategies to cope. The first strategy is act normal. If it's a public holiday, I want you to act normal. Now, what do we mean by acting normal? It means eating your 3 meals a day and your 2 to 3 snacks. This is the blueprint for success when it comes to overcoming binge eating and bulimia. We teach you how to implement this in Food Freedom, and I give you personalized feedback every single week. So don't think, oh my gosh, I need to restrict because I'm having burgers for lunch, or don't think, oh, I'm drinking all this alcohol, so I'm not going to have breakfast. Have your breakfast. Many people will think that storing up their calories or not drinking certain things in the morning or not having your carbs is going to help you later on or balance out your calories. It does the opposite. you're actually more likely to overeat than people who do have breakfast. The studies have shown that people who skip breakfast and try to quote unquote save their calories actually end up eating more than people who do have breakfast. So eat your breakfast, have your lunch, and if you want to have drinks, that's fine, but don't try to accommodate, or what's the word? It's called debt. Calorie debting? Why can't I say debt? Calorie debt. Debting your calories to be able to drink and eat. Just eat your normal structure. And this is what I say to my girls in Food Freedom when they're traveling, when they're overseas. I say just stick to the structure. It doesn't matter what you eat, doesn't matter how much you eat, but I want you to follow this format and this structure because this structure works. It works across countries. It works across time zones. It works with any cuisine. 3 meals, 2 to 3 snacks a day. That is the structure to help you overcome binge eating. Right. Second thing is be mindful with your alcohol use. As mentioned, alcohol use is one of those things that I think you really need to understand why you do it. Why do you need it? Why do you drink? What do you like about it? Is it a learned behavior? Are you just doing it culturally? What are you getting out of it? What are you not getting out of it? What are the pros and cons of having alcohol on these holidays? Is it that you feel pressured? I definitely know for me back in the day, I'd just say yes because other people were drinking. And then when I'd say yes, people were like, oh my God, Steph's having a drink. Oh my gosh. And I would be like, wow, do people really think I'm that boring? But I don't like being boring. Boring is the new cool. It doesn't make you boring at all. In fact, today I was at the gym and one of our friends, he said to us, he goes, you know what? I haven't drank. Like I started the new year. I haven't had alcohol since I think it was Christmas. And we said, how do you feel? And he says, I feel like you. I feel great. So it's amazing to think that people have this perception of how you feel because you don't drink. So just know that your decision to say no might be inspiring other people. But again, if you are going to drink, honor that decision and enjoy it. Don't wake up the next day and say, oh my God, I regret it so much. I got a hangover. It's the worst thing ever. Take responsibility. You chose to drink and you feel like shit and it's okay. Whoops, sorry I swore. But it's my podcast. I can swear. So if this is you, if you're going to drink, honor it. Like I say with eating, if you're going to have the bag of Maltesers, honor that. If you're going to have a Kit Kat, honor it and say, you know what, I'm going to enjoy this Toblerone. And yeah, that's it. It's when your thoughts and your behaviors are in conflict. I shouldn't be eating this. I shouldn't have drank that. That's when you start to feel dissonance or discomfort. It's called cognitive dissonance. And that's when you'll try to rationalize or engage in a behavior or justify or crucify yourself. So whatever decision you decide to make, honor that decision, own it, back it up, and don't hate yourself. Pick yourself up, don't beat yourself up. The final thing is, when it comes to body image, prepare for it. If you know you're going to be doing something on a public holiday, if you know you're going to be in the sun, if you know you're going to be at the beach, don't wait till the last minute to put on an outfit and panic. I used to do this. Because I was so reluctant to go to shops, to try things on. I would order things online the last minute. They would never fit. I would feel horrible. I would not go, or I'd feel awful going. But then I've realized that I deserve the ability to invest the time to feel good. Because I'm happy to invest time in working and posting on social media and doing all this. But when it comes to my professional and personal life, I don't give myself that time. For example, I'm going to be going to Bali in, 30 days has September, April, June, and November. All the rest have 31. 9 days. I need to order clothes. I need to get that in order. It's my birthday in February and I want to feel good and have some new outfits. So prepare for it. Find bathers and clothes that you feel good in. And this might involve some exposure therapy. It might involve you actually going into a store, trying things on, and asking for support. Get the people who work there to help you. That's their job, right? Ask them for support. So I'm looking for something like this. I don't want it to cut in. This is how I want to feel. Because you deserve to feel good at all your events. So prepare in advance. If you're going to an event, you don't know what they're going to serve and you're feeling anxious about certain foods, take something that you eat. That's one thing I noticed. We're throwing the barbecue and we were trying to be all fancy and, let's make this cool creamy potato salad and should we get this? And I'm like, we don't even eat that stuff normally. And I don't know how to make that. So why don't we make the food that we know how to make really well? Like, we're great at making Greek barbecue, the pita bread, the tzatziki, the dara masalata. We can do all that. So bring food that you enjoy and you like to these gatherings. So if there is a lot of fear foods, you've got something safe, and plus you've brought something for everyone else as well. And I think that's a great option. I love to bring a salad, or I love to bring a dessert instead of the alcohol. But it's like, I don't drink. Why would I bring the alcohol? This doesn't make sense. I'll bring the kombucha. You can always rely on me to bring the kombucha. Love kombucha. It's a great alternative as well if you're trying to cut down on drinking. But that's about it, folks. This is a bit of a freestyle sesh today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're listening to this at the start of your week, remember, set your week up for success by thinking, what is my goal this week? What is my intention? Mine is organize my life for Bali. Think, what thoughts do I need to be able to have a successful, happy week? What do I need to think about myself? What do I need to think about my body? What's my approach with food going to be like this week? And write it down. The days just get quicker and time just passes you by. So it's really important to set a good intention for the week and something that can help ground you if you're feeling a bit overwhelmed. Remember to do your deep breathing in the morning, regulate those nervous systems, and know that you are doing enough. Thank you so much for listening today. So remember, in summary, it's okay if public holidays cause you a bit of distress or disarray. The key is to, 1, figure out what it is that stresses you out. Is it lack of routine? Is it the food? Is it the people? Is it the body image? 2 is strategize and plan and prepare for it. And 3 is focus on the present moment. Have fun. Be in the present moment with your friends. And if your mind is running away, thinking about other things that aren't important, bring it back and say, this is what is happening. We're not going to go down the what if pathway. If you enjoyed this, let me know. Leave a rating, leave a review. I am so grateful to have you here, and I hope you have the most wonderful week ahead. Bye for now. Thank you for listening to today's episode. I am truly grateful for you being here. If you got something out of today's show, please take a moment to leave a rating or review. To access more resources or support, check out the show notes below. See you next time.